All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Wakakadash, and the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Ba'Shem. In the name of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, Balakadash, Holy Tongue. And I say Barakathon to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and say Shalom. And this is a sit down lesson I want to bring out of the M.O.T.B news updates as of May the 9th, May the 8th, 2026, on this Friday night. And it's a news article that I want to bring out. And as of lately, we've been seeing the pushing of this mark of the beast, the M.O.T.B, which is recorded in the book of Revelations 13, verse 16 to verse 18. We're in the times where everything's being revealed in the book of Revelation. And we're in the times of revelation of everything's being revealed. Especially with this, we're seeing more and more of this cashless society as the days continue to, progress on, as we get more and more in this current climate of this financial system. In this current climate, in this financial system that we're seeing more and more, of the, this digital dollar, Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency, as we're leaning more and more in a cashless society as it is already. And that's leaning towards, these smart cities, 15-minute cities, that's going to be part of that as well, too. These cross-border payments, online and offline options of these countries and companies and businesses leaning towards that direction. And that's what we're seeing, because, everything's being cashless nowadays as we entering a cashless society, especially with these devices that's going to be part of, they're going to be part of finance as well, too. With the alternative forms of, other alternatives or ways of, from a financial perspective, to replacing the paper dollar and the physical coins, with this, these different devices and stuff like that. That's going to be part of finance as well, too, as we're seeing that modern day global shift of from the paper dollar to everything's being digital nowadays. That's what we're leaning towards that direction. Because we already enter a modern day cashless society as it is, and it's going to lead to that direction. And this is going to be the new norm of everything's being digital, and especially with this device that's going to be part of cashless as well, too. That's why they're pushing this Neuralink, this nanotechnology, this brain chip, and this digital RFID chip that they want to implant in your foreheads to by yourself. But we definitely for sure seeing more and more of a cashless society and other alternatives to ways of payment, because that's gonna, very soon is going to replace the paper dollar and the physical coins as well, too. But, I just want to add a long side note to that. And this is a news article from payers.com. It says, published by Maria Calvania from May the 8th, 2026, if I pronounce the name right. And it reads, it says, Web 2.5 in the future of cross-border payments. Insights from Metacomp's Pei Yang-ting. It says Pei Yang-ting, a co-president of Metacomp, explains how the Web 2.5 infrastructure and the stablecoin can address cost, speed, and trust reflects in cross-border payments. She outlined why the instability, compliance, and intelligence risk. It says management and essential to modernize global money movement. A cross-border payment function is a skill, but its efficiency remains deeply embedded in the system. Systems such as SWIFT has enabled trillions of dollars in a daily cross-border settlements for decades. If it works, why change it? She says some might ask. It says the answers lie not in the failure but in friction. The cross-border transactions can cost between 15% and 30% in fees, depending on the number of the intermediaries and the involvement in the SMES, which forms a backbone for more economies. These costs can act as barriers to scaling and market expansion. Delays 2 to 7 days further. It says further compound the issue, creating opportunity costs that may exceed the transaction fees and themselves. If the SMS do not have access to efficient payment systems and the time and costs that cannot scale, Pei Yang explains without scale, they cannot access better systems. It becomes catch 22. The decline in corresponding linked relations and rise in compliance costs add another layer to the complex complexity, particularly for small institutes in emerging markets. Meanwhile, geopolitical volatility increase the risk of funds being delayed or caught in transactions. This is where the Web 2.5 infrastructure comes in. Rather than replacing the traditional finance or fully decentralize the Web 3 systems, the Web 2.5 aims to bridge them. The objectives is interoperability connecting to fiat-based Web 2 environments on-chain digital assets ecosystems in a compliance and efficiency way. Pei Yang describes the two essence of building blocks. The first is a conversions and settlements in engineer and the stable X engine compatible of fiat to stablecoin. It says in the stablecoin to stablecoin transactions by integrating conventional rails such as Swift along with the stablecoin rail smart routing technology determines the most times and cost efficient path for each transactions. It says the second called the Vision X engine is unified risk and compliance engine, while the Web 2 system benefits from established regular trust parts of the on-chain ecosystem to face skepticism. Bridging these environments require end-to-end compliance, including wallet screens, transactions, monitoring, unified AML, CFT risk assessments. They're going to read all the rest of that. Yeah, so it seems like it has something to do with a Web 2.5 and the future of cross-border payments, as she explained that of P18, especially with these different companies and these businesses, these companies and these CEOs, they've been speaking about, pushing forth with this Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency to have more smoother transactions. So you don't have to worry about paying more fees. You can just pay like less fees. But as I was reading that article, from thepayers.com as the co-CEO of Web 2.3, Web 2.5, I believe. I think that she's like the she's the co-person of the other Meta comps, as she was mentioning about, how the Web 2.5, about with the cross-border payments, with the stable coin that might show an increase in more payments or interest fees, costs, and all that. But others think differently because they choose either Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency. They use that as a financial way to have faster payment transactions and lesser fees to worry about. But that shows that that's the direction that we're entering into with these companies and these nations around the world, leaning towards Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency, because it's more faster pace, more better transactions. Quick to make payments and transactions, and it's what we're seeing. Check out the AI mode. these are like these like previous news articles that they read already. Check out some more news articles, but that's just a prime example that we see in all these nations. But that's a clear proof that we see in all these nations leaning towards more and more of this cashless society, and that's going to lead that's going to lead to the pushing of the central digital currency. And the final step pushes to the road to the pushing of the M.O.T.B, of this digital RFID chip that they want to implant inside your body, because that's going to be part of finance, especially from the financial perspective, to buying and selling. All right, check out. And as we've seen, as of lately, the United States pushing forth Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency as an alternative to central digital currency. So, despite the fact they try to hold on to the paper dollar, let's say greenback dollar of the United States dollar, which that's going to be a thing of the past as well too, because you had the current president of the United States at the White House sign that executive order to have a thing, mandatory to be digital. So digital banking, digital money, digital, digital stable coin, digital bitcoins, and the paper dollar as a greenback dollar as we know it is going to turn into digital. Let's see, check MSN. Is there any more? Yes, is there any more M.O.T.B news updates? If not, I'll just get to the Revelation 13th chapter. It says the tech advocate published one day ago. It says how the central digital currency announced a trigger a 40% crypto market explosion. It says EU. This is from Financial Feed published 3 days ago. It says the EU eyes a tokenized SEPA as a digital money trend reshape payment landscape. Like we've seen, yeah, because as we mentioned, everything's been digital nowadays with digital money. So that's going to replace the dollar as we know it in all these countries around the world. See if I can bring up that news article, even though it was like 4 days or 3 days ago. Last time I checked. Because the European Union, they trying to roll out their currency. I believe they're supposed to have like the plot like in 20. I think they started the plot like 2026 all the way to 2027, and then they was pushing for a full rollout of their currency that's going to replace their dollar. I believe in 2029 or 2030, if I'm not mistaken. As I add a side note to that. And this is a news article from financefeed.com. First ever time on this website. And this was published May the 5th, 2026. That was 3 days ago. It says from the payments category. It says the European Union, which the EU eyes a tokenized SEPA as digital money trends reshape payment landscape. It says, why is the EU being urged to review tokenized payments? The European Union should assess whether its existing payment system needs a tokenized layer as a financial technology changes the way money is issued. It says the transferred settled Bank of Italy deputy governor, and he said on Monday in a speech, Scotty said a new payment technology, Slacker. It says a new payment technology can improve speed, fair use, programmably efficiencies and settlements, but warn that those features do not define money itself. What makes something money has not changed. It is accepting because it is trust. It is trusted because credibility and rules and stands behind it. She said, the comments comes as central bank faces a growing pressure from private digital money and tokenized bank deposits, stablecoins, and ledger-based settlement systems that could weaken the role of public money and payments. Right, because that's been a huge that's been a huge objective of these countries around the world. While they're choosing this pushing up the digital money, and as they choose alternatives to replace the dollar, we already live in a cashless society as it is already. Because privacy definitely been a privacy, especially from a financial perspective. Because these privacy of finance has definitely been a must among all these different countries and these businesses and these companies around the world. While they're leaning towards the cashless society with the Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency, for the past couple of years, as of recently, privacy concern definitely being a must. Because some look at, central digital bank currency as a government spy, government spying on their money. Because if they choose the central digital bank currency, they'll think like it's a full spy on their money and their privacy. Because they spying on their money and every transactions, what they make or what they do. So they definitely want to keep it private and safe and secure. So that been a big objective mindset of these other nations and these other companies around the world. It says that's why you got the United States made the decision to fully ban the central bank currency because they might think it's like it's a government spying on them on their privacy, and the citizens of their other country as well too. That's why they chose Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency, or like the private stablecoin or the private Bitcoin, because they think it's safe and secure from a privacy financial perspective. It says the comments comes as central banks face a growing pressure from private digital money, tokenized bank deposits, and ledger-based settlement systems that could weaken the role of public money and payments. How could the SPA involve? The SEPA was built to make cashless euro payments work uniformly across participants across after their launch of the single currency. Scotty said the same infrastructures may now need to be reviewed for a tokenized financial system. It says we tokenize becoming more relevant and attention should turn also to how your existing payment arrangement could involve that direction, she said. From the perspective tokenized extensions, that's the SEPA could become an important area of reflection. The tokenized SEPA framework could allow public private money format together while keeping central banks involved in settlements oversights. Why does this matter of central banks? Scotty said that the key policy is a change is building the infrastructure where public and private money forms can interact without weakening the monetary control. The concern is that the new private money formats could reduce the role of traditional banks and central bank money everyday payments. It says at the level, European Central Bank is already working on a digital euro to preserve a public money's role in digital payments. Scotty remarks suggest that the wholesales and the bank linked payments systems always need intentions as tokenized grows. The Bank of Italy already operates the part of the euro area of payment infrastructures, while Italy ECB executive board member Perio Sapolina, if I pronounce the name right, it says oversees a payment and digital euro work. What are the market implications? It says a tokenized SEPA review would matter for banks, payment forms, stablecoin issuers, and infrastructure providers. If your develops common standards for tokenized euro payments, banks may gain a clearer path to tokenized deposits and ledger-based settlements. It says for private users and messages, it's more restrictive. Tokenized payment systems maybe also to grow, but only inside frameworks based by central bank oversights, legal clarity, and integrity in existing euro infrastructure. The policy direction is clear. Europe wants digital payment innovation. It says, but not to the cost of trust and public money or bank roles in financial systems. Right, because privacy concern is definitely a must. I mean, if I'm breaking it down the correct way, but definitely, while these companies and these countries around the world, they definitely want to have protection and better fast payments and less concerns about payments and costs and heavy fees and stuff like that. So they want to have a better option to choose in this with the banking system, because everything is changing with this global shift. Everything's being more digital nowadays, especially with this digital money, this digital currency, Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency, with the Swift, and all these different alternative ways of form of financial, from a finance ways. So definitely, privacy concerns definitely been a must in the year 2025 and 2026 as well too, in the course of previous years. But definitely, as of right now, while these are other nations choosing their own form of currency and other alternative forms of currencies, as far as financial concern, but definitely, financial privacy has definitely been a matter, because they want to have everything that's safe and secure as far as like the privacy of their currency, financial stability, private, I would say like private financial stability, because they look at these other alternatives of forms of currency that's gonna potentially gonna replace the paper dollar. That's gonna be the future of a future of currencies, especially with these online bankings, these digital bankings, that they choose. They want to make it safe and secure, a good, solid payment system, financial system stability that they dealing with, as they push more and more that they fully want to choose the Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency, whatever one that they choose, they want to have a safer and smoother process of pushing up this digital payments and these transactions, And with that, that's going to be leading time, and it's going to lead down towards the path of this digital RFID chip that they want to implement to buy or sell, Because when that's being pushed forth more, and that's going to be, best believe that's going to be a government spy. That's going to be a spy as well too, So definitely, that's been a highly concern of these countries around the world. Privacy concerns, because you got a lot of hacking. You got a lot of hacking and what you call that laundering or something like that. I think that's what that is, money laundering and stuff like that, like hacking. Because you got a lot of different like hacking stuff going on, especially with hacking with your money, mess with your private stuff. That's why it's been a definitely an objective among all these nations, for privacy concern, financial stability. But with that, that was the latest news articles that I just want to bring out. So hopefully I broke it down the correct way, kind of slipped the tongues a little bit. So Slovakia for that. But this is the book of Revelations, 13 and verse 16. It says, it calls of all, both small and great, rich or poor, free or bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. Right, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. And as we see in these stages of processing in multiple different ways, we're seeing this real ID, digital ID, Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency as we enter more and more of a cashless society. And then we enter more and more of this technology society, because everything is being cashless. Everything is being hard copyless. We're entering more of this device that's going to be part of economics as well too. It's going to be part of this new financial system because everything is more, because everything is more digital nowadays. Everything is digital nowadays from a financial perspective, and everything is being cashless nowadays from a financial perspective. And it's going to lead towards that path of the pushing of this Neuralink nanotechnology brain chip, smart cities, 15-minute cities. That's going to, of course, be part of finance as well too, and it's going to lead to that overall of the mark of the beast of the M.O.T.B. Revelations 13 verse 16, and it calls of all both small and great, which will pour free a bond to receive a caragma in their right hand or in their foreheads, right, to receive a caragma in their right hand or in their foreheads. That caragma, which is that mark, that caragma that they want to implant in your right hand or in your foreheads to buy or sell to do transactions. Because this is going to be the new norm in this new financial system on this current beast system. Revelations 13 verse 17, it says that no man might buy or sell, say that he had the mark or the name going to be ST or his name, right? So throughout the whole world, among all these nations, it's going to be a time where once this be fully implemented, it's going to be a time where that no man might buy or sell unless that he had the mark, which is that caragma, in their right hand or in their foreheads of the, if you're upper class or lower class of the economical spectrum. This is Revelations 13, verse 18. It says, here is wisdom, let him have understanding. Count the number of the BAST, for it is the number of a man, and his number is SIX, 203 squared SIX. So with that, hopefully this sit down lesson was edifying of the M.O.T.B news updates as of May the 8th, 2026 on this Friday night. So hopefully this was edifying. And with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakakadash, their Heavenly Father, that you name is Yahweh, and his unbegotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Lashkadash Holy Tongue. And I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles, wa Akim, wa Akwaf. Till next time, I would say, Kwame Asherala, in the ball, Shalom.